Good morning to all of you. And in this class today we will discuss parameters of reserve estimation. In the last class we have covered your principles of reserve estimation, and today we will discuss different parameters that we usually use for estimation of reserve. So, parameters of reserve estimation. Please write different parameters that we are going to discuss in this particular heading. First one is your cutoff grade. Cutoff grade. The second parameter is your stopping width. Is your stopping width. Then third one, that is your average or weighted average. Usually your weighted average. Then fourth, we will calculate tonnage factor. Tonnage factor. In fifth, we will discuss your core recovery. Your core recovery. Fifth parameter, that is your core recovery. And then the next one, that is your thickness. Thickness of your bed, thickness of your in sixth, that is your thickness. Then seven, we will discuss your strike influence. Strike influence. Strike influence. At last, we will cover your deep influence. So, parameters are your cutoff grade, your stopping weight, weighted average of grade, tonnage factor, core recovery, thickness, strike influence, and deep influence. And we will discuss one by one. So, first is your cutoff grade. First parameter is your cutoff grade. Cutoff grade indicates anything, the grade which is economical. So, the cutoff grade separates portion of economical fraction to your uneconomical fraction. So, anything beyond which are economical, the grade, anything beyond which is your economical, we call them as your cutoff grade. So, in case of calculation of cutoff grade, we usually focus two parameters. One is investment, other one is cost of the value or cost of the minerals value, right? So, cutoff grade is more or less, it is your profit loss calculation. If your reserve estimation or your mining process is profitable, then we will go for mining. If it is unprofitable, then we will abandon the mining, right? So, this calculates or this estimate your tells about your economical factors or economical parameters. And then any material which is economically profitable, we will assign them as above the cutoff grade, and materials those which are economically unprofitable, we will assign them below cutoff grade. So, we can calculate cutoff grade mathematically by the production cost. Your cutoff grade, we can calculate cutoff grade CG or cutoff grade, that is your production cost by your value of mineral content or value of your metal content, whatever depending on the nature of exploration where or your exploration process, that is the value of your mineral content of mineral content or the material content into or multiplied by 100. Using this parameter, using this simple your arithmetic, we can calculate cut-off grade. And here one thing we can regulate, that is your production cost. If production cost is low and we are getting high values of material, then that material will be your profitable. If production cost is high but we are not getting getting value of mineral than that of our production cost, then we cannot go for the next processes of mineral exploration. So this your defines whether the mineral your procedures should proceed further or we will abandon the process, right? So using production cost and your value of minerals, we can simply calculate the cut-off grade. And production cost can be monitored, because there are your several techniques by which we can reduce the production cost. So production cost is directly proportional to the available technology and your geo-economical conditions. Suppose there are conflict between two countries and one country depends on heavily on uranium. Even though your country is insufficient in uranium, country will go for exploration because war-like situations or conflicting of situations there. So this production cost mostly controlled or influenced by geopolitical scenarios, right? And advance of technology. Suppose initially at beginning, your alumina bauxite content, if alumina content is more than even 45%, then we are going for exploration of alumina. But now the alumina content has subsequently or significantly reduced to 35%. Anything which is above 35% of alumina, then we will go for the exploration. And who actually monitors this cut-off grade? In India, IBM, Indian Bureau of Mines, IBM, or that is your Indian Bureau of Mines. This organization monitors the cut-off grade. For iron, suppose it is 62, then IBM monitors whether it will be 62 or it will be 58. For bauxite, whether the alumina content is your 42 or 35. So IBM monitors your cut-off grade, right? Then coming to the next parameter, that is your stopping width. The second parameter is your stopping width. Normally, what is stopping width? Stopping width means at least we need certain thickness to operate our mining. Suppose we are going for underground mining, then we will use your different machineries. We will use your dumpers, we will use your excavators, you will use different machineries to explore your metal or to explore your mineral. And if you don't get the means any thickness which is above the stopping width, then we will go for your exploration activities. If your thickness of only there is 0.5 meter, suppose there is a horizon of iron ore which is 0.5 meter, but we need a machinery which is more than 0.5 meter, then we cannot simply use our machinery to excavate that iron ore. So stopping width is the width above which we can operate our mining activities. Stopping width is the minimum width above which width we can operate our mining activities. Right? Got my point? So any thickness above which we can use our mining activity. So we have we know there are your open cast mining as well as there your underground mining. Then in case of your underground mining, we use your stopping width of a minimum 2 meter. If it is less than 2 meter, then we cannot use our machineries. So stopping width for underground mining is minimum, it is your 2 meter. Then in case of your open cast mining, we usually use your bench methods. So now in case of your open cast mining, the stopping width is generally your 2 to 5 meter. It is your 2 meter to 5 meter for your open cast mining. Okay. So actually we are using our machineries. So to install machineries, we need certain height. So this height, it is your stopping width, right? Got my point? Then coming to the next parameter, that is your average grade or weighted average grade. Third parameter, that is your we will calculate the average grade of any mineral deposit. Now assume there are 3 scenarios. First, there is only one borehole, and in one borehole you are getting different width of a mineral. We are getting different your width or your thickness of a mineral, or this is your zone, or this is also known as your load. In a single mineral, in a single your borehole, we may get your several loads. First scenario, there is one load. In second borehole condition or second scenario, in single borehole, we are getting several loads. Several loads means several your thickness of your ore body. Like in case of coal, we will call them as your coal seam, different coal seams. So this is the first case. The second case, in a single borehole we are encountering your different coal seams or your different loads, or in case there are multiple boreholes, and with respect to our multiple boreholes, we are also getting multiple reserve. Reserve we can calculate for individual load. Suppose this is your thickness 1 or load 1, this is your load 2 or your coal seam 2. In other borehole, suppose this is your load 1, load 2. So we can find multiple boreholes associated with multiple your load, or multiple your pattings, or multiple your coal seams, right? So in every case we can calculate your weighted average grade, right? So considering individual case, we will calculate your average grade of that particular mineral, that is our target mineral, right? So in first case, suppose coming to the first case, in a single borehole we are getting your different thickness of your ore zones. For a single borehole, suppose there are your thickness, then for first case in a single borehole, your multiple thickness of your ore bodies, then assay value. Suppose a length or thickness of that particular ore, that is your assume 10 meter. In a single borehole we are encountering, right? So this is for a single borehole case, 10 meter. Then assay value with respect to 10 meter is suppose 0.5%. Suppose we are exploring copper, assume copper exploration. Then in first thickness or first your load, the thickness is 10 meter and your assay value is 0.5 meter. In second case, suppose thickness is 3 meter, then assay value of that particular thickness or horizon is 0.7%, means percentage of copper. In third case, suppose your thickness is 0.5 meter and your assay value is 2%. And in a single borehole, the fourth layer of the thickness is suppose 2 meter, then assay value corresponding to this 2 meter is 0.8 percentage. This is for a single borehole, right? Then we can calculate average grade corresponding to this particular borehole. So average grade, that will be your average grade will be your length into assay value, length into assay value divided or summation of your total length. So your grade, this is equal to summation of length or thickness L into assay value, suppose A, divided by total length. Using this formula we can calculate grade of this particular borehole or particular mineral your horizon. So summation of length into your assay values divided by summation of your total length. So this is equal to 10 into 0.5 plus 3 into 0.7 plus your 1.5 into 2 plus 2 into 0.8 upon your 10 plus 3 plus 1.5 plus 2. So this comes around 5, 2.1, then 3, then 1.6. So this is around how much? Calculate it. 5 plus 2, 5 plus 3, 8, 2.1, 10.1 and 1.6. And then it will be 11.7. 11.7 by your 13, 15, 16.5. So this is equal to around 0.7. This comes around 0.7 percentage of copper. Okay. So using a single borehole condition, we can calculate the average or weighted average of this copper horizon. So average will be your 0.7 percentage, right? Now coming to the case of your stopping width. In case of your stopping width, as we utilize for underground mining, stopping width is minimum 2 meter. We may explore for this particular horizon, or we may ignore this particular horizon, because here stopping width is 1.5, and for underground mining you need a minimum stopping width of 2 meter. So we may use this case. If they are close enough, we can explore all the material. If they are wide apart, then we may ignore this case, being stopping width is less than your 2 meter, right? So this is for your single borehole case. That means in a single borehole, the number of ore zones we have encountered, and with respect to number of borehole, with respect to number of your ore zones, we have calculated your average grade. Now coming to the second case. Second case means there are two your different load or two different ore bodies. Then we can also calculate their average grade or weighted average grade. So in that particular case, again using that same formula, your grade of individual layer or grade of your individual that is your load and thickness, we can calculate the average grade. Assume for this case there are 3 loads, or there are your 3 horizons where we are getting copper. In first case, suppose the thickness of ore body is 5 meter. For this case, suppose ore body thickness is 5 meter. In second case, ore body thickness is 2 meter, and the lowermost horizon, that is your 8 meter. Assuming this is your 8 meter, and corresponding to 5 meter, your copper is suppose your 9%. Then in this case, suppose second case, that is your 8%, and third case average copper content is 5.5%. Using that same formula, we can calculate your weighted average of this particular borehole, weighted average of copper for this particular borehole. So if we solve, you will find in first case your thickness is 5 meter, so weighted average, your average grade, that will be your thickness into average grade. Average grade is 9%, so 5 into 9. In second bed thickness is 2 meter, 2 into average grade is 8%, plus in third case your thickness is 8 meter and your average grade is 5.5% divided by your thickness, that is your 5 plus 2 plus 8. The weighted average grade, so it will be 45 plus 16 plus 44. This is equal to 15. So it comes around how much? 7. This is weighted average for this particular borehole. Just look at this particular figure. Here this is average grade of a individual layer. In second case, the average grade of second layer. Then in third horizon, this is the average grade of third layer. Then we are calculating the overall average. Therefore, we are calculating the weighted average. We are calculating the weighted average grade of a particular borehole, where we encounter multiple layers of your mineral zone or your mineral bodies, right? Now coming to the third case, in number of boreholes, we are getting your number of your mineral horizons, right? So coming to the third case, we are, suppose in number of boreholes, there we are getting your number of your reserve, at the same time grade of the reserve. So we can calculate using the same formula. Suppose in two cases, in these particular two boreholes, suppose there are 3 boreholes. Assume there are 3 boreholes. There are 3 boreholes, and in number of boreholes we are encountering your different your mineral zone or your coal body, anything that is our interest, that is for our exploration. Suppose in case of first borehole, we are getting 5 million tons of reserve, 5 million tons of reserve, and for this 5 million tons of reserve, the average grade is 5%. Average grade is 5%. In second borehole, we are getting reserve of 8 million ton, and the thickness and the average grade is assume 6%, 6. And in third case, we are getting reserve of 10 million ton, and here your mineral content is 2%. Then we can also calculate the weighted average for the weighted average of particular ore for this deposit. Just look, we are collecting from a single borehole. Now we are you are connecting number of loads to now we are connecting your number of reserves to estimate the whole reserve of a particular deposit, right? So this case we can also use that same formula, that is your grade multiplied with your reserve. So 5 into your 5 million ton plus 6 into 8 million ton plus 2 into 10 million ton divided by million tons, because we are calculating grade, right? We are calculating grade. Then this will be your 5 plus 8 plus 10, so it comes around 25 plus 68 plus 20 upon 23. It comes, so it comes around how much? 4.04. It comes around 4.04% of that particular ore, right? So why it is weighted average? Are you getting my point? Because we are simply calculating your from a borehole to number of boreholes, and using number of boreholes we can also calculate for a deposit, right? A deposit may extend tens of kilometers. A deposit may not confine to only 1 square kilometer. It may extend beyond 1 square kilometer. It may be your 20 square kilometer. A deposit may be of 30 square kilometer. So therefore, we need to multiple boreholes to drawn to find out the average of that particular deposit, and therefore we are utilizing your weighted average to find weighted average grade to find out the particular deposit. Okay, got my point? Clear? Now coming to the next case, that is your tonnage or tonnage factor. Tonnage factor. What we do in case of tonnage factor, actually we multiply this tonnage factor with volume. We multiply the tonnage factor with volume. So we multiply, we will find out the tonnage factor by what we do? We multiply your density into your volume to find out the tonnage factor. So tonnage factor, that is your volume into your density, which gives you the tonnage factor or the amount of ore that lies in a particular deposit. So volume we can calculate, number of area or the square kilometer we are exploring, then number of your boreholes we have driven, we can calculate the thickness and average thickness, then multiplying your area into that average thickness, we can calculate the volume. Now coming to this density. Density, it is your mineral density or it is your bulk density. Two things. One is your density of a particular mineral or a bulk density. Bulk density or normally our density. So difference between these two is bulk density, that lies very small pieces. That when we are calculating density for a small size material or for a very tiny size material, then we will calculate usually our density. But when I calculate density of a that is large size material. Suppose your thickness of iron ore 10 meter thickness, and that 10 meter may not be only iron ore. That 10 meter of iron ore may associated with gangue minerals. Now if we calculate the density of only iron, then we can calculate the density. But when we are calculating the density of that whole deposit, we will go for bulk density. And in case of a bulk density, that is associated with your fractures, your gangue minerals present, your that is your discontinuity, that is everything. Because whenever we are going for exploration of any mineral, that may not be pure enough. That mineral will associated with respect to other gangue minerals, right? So therefore we will calculate as bulk density. And in every case, your bulk density is always less than your mineral density. Bulk density always lower than that of your density of that particular mineral. Suppose we calculate bulk density of your coal deposit, and the coal is associated with your pattings, coal is associated with the sandstone, sometimes coal is associated with the shale, sometimes coal is associated with your other materials. Then in that case, the bulk density of that coal may come around 1.4 gram per cc. But in reality, suppose we will calculate only the pure your coal, then your density of coal may be 1.6. So bulk density is always less than that of your density. Got my point? And while we calculate in field, we try to calculate the bulk density, and bulk density is always associated with other materials. Other materials means your fracture, your other discontinuity, your gang materials, everything. So calculation of a bulk density. How do we calculate in the field? How do we calculate bulk density? Normally in field we try to dig dig an area, or you can say that is 1 meter area, thickness of or your depth of 1 meter, width of 1 meter, width of 1 meter. So this kind of calculation, it is known as your cubical opening. This is known as your cubical opening. In case of cubical opening means we are digging out material from this is also known as your the scientific term is known as I could not able to recall the scientific term, but what we do in field, we try to excavate materials from 1 meter thickness, 1 meter width and 1 meter depth. Then we try to measure its your mass by volume. So volume we know this is 1 meter cube. So the mass, how much mass is there, the weight of that particular material. Then we will find out your mass by your volume to find out the density or your bulk density. Okay, we will find out the bulk density corresponding to 1 meter width, 1 meter height and 1 meter your length of a cubical block, and for that particular block we try to calculate its density. And in this particular case we will find this is associated with ore as well as this particular material is associated with your gangue minerals, fractures, cleavages, everything, right? And in case of this cubical opening, this case is suitable for horizontal or bedded deposits. This cubical opening is suitable for your bedded deposits, bedded or your horizontal deposits. Bedded like your limestone deposits, your iron ore deposits, your coal deposits, right? Those materials which are bedded in nature. Okay, but materials which are disseminated in form, or those which are associated with hydrothermal deposits, they may not be deposited horizontally, right? In case of your hydrothermal deposits, you will find the materials will deposited in open avenue. So we may not use this cubical opening case. So we will go for normal density calculation. Density calculation means your density that is your weight in air upon weight in air minus weight in water. In that case we will try to find out your density. In case your ore are disseminated in form or your ore is not uniform or regular in form, in case of your bedded and horizontal opening or horizontal deposit, we use cubical opening. But if your minerals are not uniform in its deposition, then we will simply calculate its density using our normal formula, the weight in air upon weight in air minus weight in water. By doing so, we can calculate your density or bulk density. Then we multiply this density with your volume to find out the tonnage factor. Okay, clear? Next case, that is your that core recovery or thickness? Core recovery. Core recovery, this means when we draw a borehole, then the material we try to take it to the surface. Using your drilling. Then if material is hard enough, if the material or the ore body is hard enough, then the material may come to the surface after drilling. But if there is loose sand or soft materials or clay materials, then we may not get the whole core. We will get simply your broken fragments, your normal sand size particles. So we may not get the whole core. So this is in other hand, it tells about strength of a deposit. This core recovery, in other words, tells about your rock quality. It tells about your rock mass quality. It tells about your rock mass quality. This means if we are getting your core, then the material or the mass of this rock is hard. If we are getting loose sands or loose fragments, then the material is not hard enough, or the strength of the material is loose, right? So core recovery indicates how much percentage of core we are getting actually. Suppose we are drilling 1 meter, if we are getting a core of only 0.6 meter, then the core recovery is 60%. What my point? Suppose we are after drilling 1 meter borehole or 1 meter thickness of your run length, and the material that is coming to the surface is 0.6 meter or 60 centimeter. We have drilled 100 centimeter, 1 meter, and we are getting a core of around 0.6 meter or 60 centimeter. So the core recovery is 6 upon 1, or this is equal to 60%. So core recovery is 60%. Then using this core recovery, we can add RQD or rock quality designation. Using this core recovery, we can calculate your rock quality designation. Or in short, we call it as RQD. And so far, not a single question you will get from this particular topic in your JAM entrance examination. However, this question you will find multiple times in your GATE questions. RQD, determination of RQD. Okay, so we can calculate your rock quality designation after your core recovery. And this RQD tells about the nature of the rock or a rock mass quality. Suppose your RQD is less than 25%. This is your RQD in percentage and associated with your rock mass quality. Your rock mass quality. If it is less than 25%, then the quality of that rock mass is very poor. It is very poor quality, means the strength of the rock is very low. Normally we will less than 25% means it is clay or it is sand. If you drill in sand, then we may not get any core, rather we will get the fragments of sand. So strength of that particular horizon or bed is very poor. Therefore your rock mass quality is very poor. So if RQD is 25 to 50, if it comes around 25 to your 50%, then the rock mass, nature of the rock mass is poor. It is poor. Similarly, from 51 to 75, if RQD value is coming around your 51 to 75%, we call them as fair. We call them fair. Then if it is from your 76 to 90, 76 to 90, then we call them as your good, or quality of that rock mass is good, or strength is good for that particular rock mass. Then if it is greater than 90%, if RQD is greater than 90%, the quality of that rock mass is excellent. Okay. Now coming to the how we will calculate RQD, or calculation of RQD. Next then calculation of RQD. Okay, so far it is clear. Suppose we have driven a borehole of 2 meter. We have driven a borehole of 2 meter. Then we are getting our core. After this borehole, we will get the core. And suppose the thickness of individual core is suppose 38 centimeter. Then in this case we are getting no core. Core is 0 centimeter. Then next case the core is around 17 centimeter. Then there is 0, or we are not getting any core. Then next we are getting a core of around 45 centimeter. Core of around 8 centimeter. Total we have driven a borehole which is the run length is 2 meter, or this is equal to 200 centimeter. So in 200 or this 2 meter borehole, we are getting number of cores. In first case, then the core thickness is 38 centimeter. Then subsequently we are getting a 17 centimeter core. We are getting 45 centimeter core. Then we are getting 8 centimeter core. So after getting all this your thickness of core, we will calculate your RQD. So calculation of RQD, this is equal to your length, summation of length of individual core which is greater than 10 centimeter. So your length of your individual core, summation of length of individual core which is greater than 10 centimeter divided by total run length. So in this case we will ignore this 8 centimeter because this is less than 10 centimeter. Then ignoring this 8 centimeter, we can simply add your 38 plus 17 plus 45 centimeter upon your 2 meter or 200 centimeter. So this is equal to 55 plus 45, this is 100. So 100 by 200, so this is 0.5, or in percentage this is equal to your 50%. And as we have already know, this 50% it is coming around RQD of 50%. This is poor, the rock mass quality is poor. So whatever we have drilled, the mass is poor in nature, or strength of that material is poor. Okay. So this is with respect to your core recovery. Now the next parameter, that is your thickness. Like our grade, we can also calculate the thickness. Okay, like grade. But we did for grade calculation, we have calculated your grade into your thickness by total thickness. Now in this case, we will do the same exercise. Your grade multiplied with the thickness divided upon summation of your grades. Suppose there are we need to calculate the average thickness. Suppose in this case, suppose thickness is 5 meter. In this case, thickness is 6 meter. Then in 5 corresponding to this 5 meter, we are getting your ore of suppose 0.6%. Similarly, for this 6 meter, we are getting 0.8%. 8% of your copper or any ore, then we can calculate your thickness or average thickness of the ore zone is 0.6 into 5 plus 0.8 into 6 upon 0.6 plus 0.8, right? The same way that we have calculated our grade, we can calculate thickness. Okay, so we can calculate even average thickness, we can calculate even your weighted thickness. The same way we have calculated our grade, average grade or your weighted grade. Weighted grade means we are collecting from number of grades to the whole deposit, grade of the whole deposit, right? Similarly, you can calculate your average thickness of a particular deposit. Okay, so it comes around how much? This is 3 plus 4.8 by 1.4, it comes around 7.8 by 1.4, 6, 5. So thickness usually we express in meter, so average thickness will be your 5.7 meter. Okay, the same way we have calculated grade as well as weighted grade, we can calculate average thickness or weighted thickness. The next case, the strike influence. And deep influence. Two things that left. One is your strike influence. In last class we have discussed your rules or principles behind your evaluation of your or estimation of reserve. The second case, the rule of nearest point. Equal influence, the rule of equal influence. The same way we will give equal weightage to individual boreholes along a strike. Suppose we are getting suppose 3 boreholes have driven, and in borehole 1 we are getting a mineral thickness of around 10 meter, then we are getting 5 meter, then in the third thickness of the mineral is, suppose this is 5 meter, this is 2 meter. Now we will give equal influence or we will give equal weightage along the strike direction. Suppose we are getting here the thickness of around 10 meter and the other one is your 2 meter. In borehole 3 also we are getting 10 meter, then your 5 meter, then your 2 meter. So we give equal influence up to the half mark or the middle mark of 2 successive boreholes. Here there is no 5 meter horizon in borehole 2, so we will give weightage of this particular horizon along the strike influence of half of the 2 successive boreholes. We will not give any weightage to this borehole because we are not getting this bed in borehole 2 or in second borehole. So whenever we will try to calculate the reserve, we will calculate the strike influence, half of this borehole, and your thickness, that will give you the volume, then volume into your tonnage, volume into your density, that will give you the tonnage. We are not giving any influence to the second borehole because this bed is missing in second borehole. So this particular giving equal weightage to individual your ore bodies is known as, along a strike direction is known as strike influence. Okay, got the point? That we have discussed in previous class. Now the next case, that is your deep influence. That is your deep influence. Deep influence means again the influence along the continuity of deep. Suppose iron ore, there is a dipping iron ore, and we try to draw number of your boreholes to find out its continuity. Suppose in borehole 1 we are getting this bed, and in borehole 2 we are getting this iron ore. So what we will do, we will give influence equal to individual boreholes, half of the individual boreholes. So this weightage, so this is borehole 1, this is your borehole 2, then whatever we are getting in borehole 1, we will divide it symmetrically along this borehole. Similarly, suppose we are getting in second borehole, in your second level, then we will divide symmetrically with respect to your second borehole, and that your influence will be half of your next borehole. So this case is known as your deep influence, means we are giving weightage equally to individual boreholes and its continuity. If that continuity is along your strike direction, we call them as strike influence. If the continuity is along your deep direction, we call them as deep influence. And we will use this while we calculate your reserve, right? That is your LVZ section, your longitudinal vertical section. In that particular case, we will give deep influence, we will give strike influence. But in normal case, we don't have to give influence to either deep or to your strike. Simply your volume into your density will give you the tonnage factor. Okay? Clear? Okay, I hope you like this particular topic, and in next class we will cover your estimation of reserve. Okay, thank you.